Adams Archive.
The Olympic Games have come to a close, and I think we learned 3 valuable lessons from the Olympic Games. Number 1 being that the world will no longer tolerate women in men's sports. The world will no longer tolerate women in men's sports. Number 2, the world will no longer tolerate the mocking of Christianity and religion in general. Right? We saw that with the opening ceremony, right? All of the religious mocking of Christianity. It would never happen with any other religion. No possibility whatsoever. Absolutely not. Would have never happened. Imagine if they put Allah up on that stage and started mocking, or Muhammad, sorry. If they had a whole opening ceremony mocking Muhammad. Do you know what would have happened? And honestly, this speaks a little bit to the I don't know how to position it. The fragility of Christians today. Christians almost took over the world at one point, guys. Like, we have to remember our roots here. Christianity is not a faith of weak individuals who aren't outspoken about what they believe in, or why they believe in it, or are afraid of fighting back against people who mock their God, or their any one of the other religions that are out there. If Judaism was mocked publicly, if, name it, any other religion, right, it would be a crazy outpour. Even Buddhism, right, even any one of these other religions, if they were publicly mocked on a world stage, there would be huge outcry. But guess what? You know what you can be racist against? White people. You know who you can be sexist against? Men. You know what religion you can make fun of openly without fear for repercussions? Christianity. That's the reality of today. But now we know the Olympics apologized. They apologized because there was enough pushback. Religion will no longer be mocked. Specifically, Christianity is no longer on the table. Will not be mocked. Women are not going to be allowed in the world stage to be competing against men. Men should not be allowed on the world stage competing against women, especially in combat sports. And number 3, the United States is still the baddest motherfucking country in the world, bar none. We have the greatest athletes. We have the greatest economy. Regardless of what's been done and undone, and the burdens that can be seen cannot be unburdened by what has been, we're the greatest country in the fucking world. We're the most athletic country. We have the biggest and most thriving economy. Our software development and technology in Silicon Valley is better than anywhere else in the world. Our entrepreneurship and businesses are greater than anywhere else. Bar none. No competition. Right? I do think that we ended up tying with China in some way, somehow. But the last time I looked, we were up by like 30, 40 medals. That's what we learned from the Olympics. All right. So ESPN fired her. We've seen this go south. I don't know when these organizations are going to learn that just this woke shit will no longer be tolerated. It won't be. We're not going to allow it. Right? You're going to fire her. You know what? There's a bigger organization out there with a bigger role for her somewhere that she's going to get as a result of this. Her clout just went up 5 notches as a result of this, especially when you understand that a huge portion of the community, especially when you talk about the football season and football in general, and the type of people that follow those sports where the money comes from, generally white, generally male, generally Christian. Generally not wanting men to compete against women in combat sports. That's the reality of it, right? And so what makes sense about this? Well, it's like the Taylor Swiftification of ESPN and sports in general, right? You have to the Colin Kaepernicks of the world are pumped up, and the white male Christian quarterbacks, right, are thrown on, tossed out of the sport onto their ass and have to go do speaking gigs to make money, right? It's crazy, but guess what? The pendulum is swinging back. We know that. We've seen it over and over again, whether it's the Bud Light campaigns, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's name it, it's happened. We have seen over and over and over again that this shit won't be tolerated anymore. And I am glad. I'm proud of you guys for speaking out against this. We have to continue it, right? We have to continue speaking out against the trans bullshit. We have to continue saying women or men shouldn't be allowed in women's sports. We have to continue speaking out and saying Christianity is not going to be mocked. But we're winning the culture war right now, guys, and they know it. They know it. They may own all of the news media outlets, but guess what? We own all of the free speech. We own almost all of the major podcasts or people speaking about these things in a dissident way compared to what the large organizations out there are doing. Because that's the truth. That represents what the people think. That's if you have a long form content, stream of thought, stream of consciousness conversation with most people, they're going to say that this shit is crazy. Doesn't make any sense. Women should not have to fist fight men in the Olympics. Christianity should not be mocked on a world stage in front of everybody. Very, very simple things to adhere to, yet they keep wanting to push it despite how much money they continue to lose.
Adam's Archive.